Average Father here with another gun review. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to be going over the Glock 41 and the Omnivore holster by Blackhawk. So first let me show you guys this firearm. This is the full-size 45 and it is a little bit different than the typical full-size 45. This one has a little bit of a longer slide on it here, and then it's a little bit thinner as well as your typical Glock. And the purpose of this was for bow hunting for me. I wanted something that was a little bigger, just, I don't know, in case I got a cougar on my back or a bear to give me some sort of fighting chance. Could have got like a 357, but only having 6 rounds isn't really that exciting to me. And then I also could have went with a 10 mil, but really at the time of purchasing this I wasn't super familiar with it, so I ended up choosing what I was comfortable with, and that's a Glock 45. And even going back in time I probably still would have made the same decision. So let's just clear this gun first and make sure we're good to go. So no magazine, can't feel around the chamber, can't see one. So, good to go. Let's first talk about the reliability. It's a Glock. If you've ever owned a Glock, then you know what I'm talking about. Every time you pull the trigger, it goes bang. Never had a problem with a Glock. I've had a 22 before, which is the full-size 40. I've shot the 19 a lot. Had a Glock 43, and really just don't have any complaints about them. They're not fancy, but they're really reliable. So you can drop this thing, it can get wet, it can get muddy, and as long as you take semi-good care of it, this thing's gonna go bang every time you pull the trigger. Now speaking of the trigger, typical Glock, has the same old reliable trigger. Got a good reset, and it's a fairly stiff trigger, but it's clean and it's crisp and it's reliable. And reliability is, a whole part of the game. Outside of that, I'll talk about the upgrades that I've done. So I added these. These are a set of Trijicon sights. These aren't the glow in the dark, but they are a little bit illuminating, I guess, by I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. You guys are probably screaming at the TV right now or your phone telling me, but it basically grabs all the light, the ambient light, and lights them up really well. Since I primarily keep this with me when I'm hunting, I don't typically hunt in the dark unless I'm hiking in somewhere, hiking out late, so I'm not entirely worried about having night sights. These were what I could find at the time. And then I guess just to talk about why I did that, the typical Glock sights having that big white U and then that white front sight post isn't very appealing to me. When you draw down on a target, you try to find your front sight post, it doesn't capture my eye as well as having this big red front sight post, so you can immediately pick that up. You can see your rear sights and get those lined up really well. And then the next thing is running a light. So if I am somewhere hiking in or hiking out and it's dark and I need to see, have this TLR1HL on here, and I freaking love this thing. So I got way down into this ravine, and my headlamp ended up breaking. I had spare batteries, but quit working. So note to everybody out there, carry 2 headlamps. And I think it just got water in it or something. But anyway, I needed a flashlight, so I was tearing through my pack and couldn't find anything. And I had this pistol with me, and I ended up just taking my streamlight off of here and using this thing for over an hour to get out of where I was. And I love that you can see everything with this. It does get hot if you run it a while, but for a gun light, it is really, really good. You have your up option. You can hold it and let go, or you can go the other way and click it on. You can come up twice for a strobe, and then I think if you're quick enough, you can do it the other way maybe. yeah, you can finagle with it. I don't really like running the strobe that much, but you know, not this gun isn't for self-defense in the typical like concealed carry parameters. It's more of like I have a bear in front of me and I got in between her and some cubs, or I think if you guys haven't seen the video of the cougar that's walking up on a guy and he ends up shooting it with his Glock, you should check that out. Just search that on YouTube and you can see that weird stuff happens, and it's better to be over prepared than under prepared. So next up, I want to talk about the grip. So the typical Glock grip is what it is. It's reliable. It's the same on every Glock, but it doesn't grab your hand at all. You know, your hand grabs the pistol, and if it's wet or sweaty, bloody, muddy, it's just not the best. You can, you know, change out your beaver tails and get a size that works for you, but I cannot speak highly enough about this Talon grip, is what it's called. If you just look up Talon grip for firearms, you'll see it, and it's just basically this sticky adhesive, and I'll show you guys up close here. It goes on really well. So I was a little nervous about it. I had a neighbor here that was telling me about it, and I was really worried I was going to screw it up. I was worried that the adhesive was going to make my gun sticky, or it wasn't going to get lined up well. It wouldn't look pretty. But right out of the package, you take this and you can set it so it gets lined up well, and then you can use a hair dryer and you start working it, and it molds to your firearm really well. It doesn't leave any sticky residue, and there was a spot at one time that, you know, wasn't absolutely perfect. I can't even remember where it is to show you guys. I honestly don't remember. Might have worked itself out. But overall, this thing is great. I love it, and you know, if I didn't like my SIG grip so well, I would put this on there. And if I ever buy another firearm with a grip that's not ideal. And that's it for upgrades on the firearm. I have the sights I went over, the grip, and the light. Next up, I want to talk about my holster. So before I show it to you guys up close, I'm just going to put this magazine in here so I don't lose it, but not going to rack the slides, so don't freak out. This is the Omnivore holster, and we'll show you guys it up close, but love this. It sits in here well, and there's one button you can just pull out to pull your firearm. So it's got a super quick draw. It has that, you know, level 1 retention, I think what it is. Let me take this off real quick to show you guys up close. Okay, Omnivore holster by Blackhawk. This will adapt to the TLR1 or the TLR2, and I can't speak highly enough about this as well. Say this and the Talon grip, absolute game changers. But definitely this holster. So it says close quarter concealability or concealment. This is for a full-size firearm. I don't know how you'd be concealing this. Maybe if you have a big old winter coat on, but you have to run this with a light. So it adapts to the light, which is really nice. And then it just has this one button here for the tension release. So I wouldn't rely my life on it, but for example, just hunting or you know, being outdoors in an open space, it's a great option for a holster. I wouldn't be running this in a crowd. You know, somebody could just run up behind you and snag your pistol. But for what I use it for, it works great. It has the typical like 3 screws, so you can adjust the cant of the holster, and then it has these interchangeable clips that attach to the bottom of your belt, which is great. So if you're, you know, get hung up trying to pull your firearm out, hooks on the bottom of your belt and allows the firearm to slip out of here. So you guys, what this looks like up close here. So it just drops in, won't come out. Push this button, it comes right out. So this is great. I actually, when I'm running this hunting, since I can't run this paddle holster with my belt, and run my pack over the top of it. I actually put this on a drop leg platform. So I just got on Amazon, ordered a Blackhawk outside the, a drop leg holster, and then it has the same 3 screw holes. However, it wasn't the right length for the screws, so I went to the local hardware store, made sure they were the same thread pattern, got some that were a little bit longer, and during hunting season I just take this paddle off, throw this on the drop leg, and then I run this Omnivore holster with the firearm. And best part about it is they call it the Omnivore because it attaches to the light, so you can take that light off, put it on any other gun, drop it in this holster, and run it. My Glock 43 that I've shot a bit, I've taken this light off, got it to fit on there, and just dropped it in there. So you can take your stream light off by this screw here, just loosen it, and then it's like a push button, comes off the rail. Throw it on another gun, tighten it up, and drop it in here. So if you're looking for a holster, this is a great option. Check it out. And I really, I can't speak to shooting very much because it's a Glock. I've shot, like I said, but the Glock 22, Glock 43, Glock 19. I've shot a lot of Glocks, and this really feels really similar. It's a different caliber, and that's about it. It's easier to pick up sight picture with this sight switched out. But as far as shooting, long range with this longer barrel, it is nice. You can poke out there a little bit further, but this gun's super reliable. I don't have anything bad to say about it. If you're not a Glock guy, you won't like it. If you're a Glock guy, I highly recommend it. Not sponsored by any of this or affiliated, just wanted to give the Average Father review here. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you guys want to see more content like this. It really helps me out do stuff like this. And then if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave me any questions you guys have down below. I'd love to answer it, or any tips anyone has. Fiber optics is what these sights are called. Just remember it. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Out.